We always hear that communication is key in relationships, right? The truth is, communication is nothing without compassion and comprehension. You can communicate all you want with another person, but if two people are speaking different languages, they're not going to get very far. Speaking two different languages means that you can't understand each other's perspective. When two people are speaking a different language, let's say Spanish and Japanese, just because the Spanish person doesn't understand the Japanese person, that doesn't mean that they should tell the Japanese person that what they're saying is wrong. They don't know that it's wrong if they don't understand it. And so naturally, what we do when we meet somebody who's speaking a different language to us, we want to understand what they're saying. We want to be able to connect with them in that way. But there's just that language barrier, right? And it's all about how they grew up, where they're from, their experience. And just because it's different than ours, doesn't mean that we're not capable of understanding theirs, okay? So naturally, what we do when someone's speaking a different language than us, we translate. And that's how we begin to understand each other. So in relationships, the same principle applies. However, this looks a little bit different in relationships. What you need to do is emotionally translate. You might not be speaking two completely different languages, but in a sense you really are, because you're not understanding each other by what you're saying. Both people can experience different things, and that's ultimately going to lead to different emotions. That's why it can be difficult to communicate when you disagree on someone's experience when they bring something to your attention. But the conversation that you guys have is not meant to determine who's right and who's wrong. Feelings are neither right nor wrong. Feelings are feelings. Whatever somebody's experiencing has caused those feelings. So it's your job to let that other person come to you and explain their experience so that their feelings can be validated, and it can be a lot easier of a conversation to have because now there's something to work through. Let me give an example. If somebody comes to you and they tell you their feelings about something that they say that you did but you didn't actually do, it can be very easy to just start defending yourself because you're focused on the facts. I'm guilty of doing this myself. In your mind, all you want to do is prove them wrong, but all that's doing is negating their feelings because there's still something that they experienced that caused them to feel the way they do about something that you didn't do. So now instead of defending yourself, reel it back and just ask them questions. Be curious about what happened to make them feel like this. Because there was something, and even though you can disagree with it, you can't disagree with a feeling. So we have to learn to translate emotionally. We have to learn to have patience and compassion, regardless of the emotion being brought to us, and just be grateful that they actually came to you and told you how they were feeling, because they truly do want to work it out with you. If they didn't want to work it out with you and they just didn't care, then they wouldn't bring it to your attention. And then you would be left in the dark, and nobody wants that. And like I said, communication is nothing if it's not partnered with compassion and comprehension.